On the 11th day of February, and we are pleased that you are here. I want to welcome you, and shortly we will be recognizing some individuals, but I did want to mention a couple things that took place last Friday in the county. Down at the early college, and a number of the board members were down there. They had an event that was let's see, what was it called? I always called it Lots of Love. But they cut the hair of the students who volunteer to do it, obviously, and that hair will go for people who need it because of cancer. So it's a great event, and there were probably, what would you say, 12, 15 maybe, and one of them was a young man that attends down there. He's a junior, and he had 4 or 5 inches clipped off his, and had some adults as well. So it was a great event. And then in the afternoon, they had a Rise for Hunger event, and that was over at the community college, but it was students from the early college. And it was quite a sight to see. They were putting ingredients into a bag, of course, very sanitary, wearing gloves, hairnets, the whole bit. And they were putting those ingredients into a bag and sealing it, packaging it, and I don't know where it's going to wind up going, but it's going to help somebody somewhere. And I noticed, looking at one of the packages, that I think there were 1,500 calories in a bag, 250 per serving, so there were 6 servings in a bag. And it was just an amazing event to see. Every student that was not in a community college course was over there. They had 9th graders come in for a little while, 10th graders, great event. And then another thing that occurred on Friday was the Special Olympics, the Winter Special Olympics, and that was at West Caldwell. And feeder schools for West Caldwell were involved in this particular event. And I know some of us were out there for that, and they were very pleased with the format. A little smaller than what had been in the past, because usually it was everybody in the county would go to South Caldwell for the Winter Special Olympics. This was just the feeder schools for West Caldwell, and they really liked it because they had a little more room to operate, and it was just a really nice event. So those were some good things happening in our schools on Friday. We're going to move on with the agenda at this time. I'd like to recognize fellow board member Joe Sims.
Thank you. Yeah, you looked over there. I thought I was supposed to be sitting there.
You sit over there.
I missed the meeting and I get moved, so I didn't even know where I was at tonight. So, I reflected on this a little bit this week about we each one have blessings in our lives. And I think it's a personal thing as to what you feel like a blessing is. What's a blessing to you? And, I'd like for us each one to take a moment to think about your personal blessings, but also, blessings for our students, just to keep them safe, keep the teachers safe, keep our school system safe. And our law enforcement, we are a blessed nation. And if you will, just have a moment of silence while we do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sims. Next, we have Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. We have a couple students from Dudley Shoals Elementary School. Emma Lynn Johnson, 5th grader, daughter of David and Carly Johnson, and Emily Pugh, 5th grader, daughter of Joseph and Latasha Pugh. So if they'll come forward, and everyone please stand.
Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Thank you, Emmeline and Emily, for being here. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda that we have tonight. The board's had opportunity over the last few days to review that. Do I hear a motion that we approve the agenda as been presented?
Chairman Penline, move that we approve the agenda for the evening as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And the motion passes. Okay, the next item is the approval of closed session minutes that took place on December the 3rd, 2018. Once again, the board's had opportunity to review all of these sets of minutes. Do I hear a motion we approve the closed session minutes of December the 3rd, 2018?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the closed session minutes December 3rd, 2018.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, next, we have the minutes, and this is our regular session that we had on January 14th, and we also had a closed session meeting that night as well. We're voting on both sets of minutes in one vote here. Do I hear a motion? We approve the minutes of those two meetings on January the 14th.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the regular and closed session minutes from January 14th, 2019.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes. On the 22nd of January, the board did its board walkthrough, and we always enjoy doing that. And at the end of the board walkthrough, we visited 8 schools, and then at the last school that we visited, which was in this case, the middle college, we had a closed session there. We also had a public comment session. So do I hear a motion that we approve the public comment session minutes as well as the closed session minutes? And that would be on January 22nd.
Chairman Penline, move that we approve the public comment section and the closed session minutes from the January 22nd board meeting and walkthrough.
Second the motion.
Any comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. And I think the last set of minutes, February 4th, we had a work session here at the Education Center. Started at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we generally run to about 10 or so. And the minutes are, once again, you've had a chance to look at the minutes. We also had a closed session that day. So 2 sets of minutes on February the 4th. Do I hear a motion we approve both sets of those minutes?
I move that we approve both sets of February 4th minutes.
Second. Any comments? All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes. Next, we have a few announcements. I'd like to recognize fellow board member, Mr. Dwayne Knight.
Thank you. National School Council Week was last week. We recognize the hard work and dedication that goes along with being a school counselor, and want to thank them for all they do for the students of Caldwell County. This week is Bus Driver Appreciation Week, so please show your appreciation to all drivers and employees that hold a pocket card like this, and transportation staff. Board of Education member Chris Bumbar and I both volunteer to drive when needed. A week from Friday is February 22nd. We'll have a professional work day for teachers. No school for traditional students, but it'll be early release for early college and middle college. Also on that day, we'll be celebrating George Washington's 287th birthday. The week of March 3 through 9 is Social Workers Week. School social workers play a vital part and a valuable role in our schools. Our next meeting will be Monday, March 11th at 6 o'clock And also want to wish Joe Sims a happy birthday on Thursday. That's all my announcement.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, Mr. Knight. Dr. Phipps, do you have any additional
I'll do
announcements?
just a few things to let you know about. February the 21st is going to be the second meeting of the Ministerial Alliance. This is our group that we meet with, and we want to invite anyone who's a minister who would like to participate to come join us. We're going to start our work on establishing a Caldwell County character education program, so we're excited about that. Also, February the 25th through March the 1st is Read Across America. This is a national reading celebration that takes place annually on Dr. Seuss's birthday. Across the country, thousands of schools, libraries, community centers, and others participate by bringing together kids, teens, and books, and you can help too. We'd like to invite anyone who's willing to go out and read to our students. If you've never done that, this will be a great week to start that, the Read Across America, February the 25th through March the 1st. And the final thing I want to speak to is an editorial cartoon that was in the newspaper recently that sends a message that's just not factually correct, and I just want to make sure that our public is aware of that. Our board and our county commissioners have adopted a resolution in request for the General Assembly to grant us local calendar flexibility. And our goal is to be able to establish our own starting and ending dates with our school calendar, with the ultimate goal being to allow us to finish up our exams before the semester break and to be in alignment with the community college calendar. We would start a little bit earlier in August, but we would get out in May if we were allowed to do that. So our summer vacation would be the same length of vacation. It would just shift a little bit on the calendar. We can't do that right now. We need General Assembly approval to allow us to have that calendar flexibility. But I think the caption and the meaning of the cartoon suggested that we were trying to take away summer break and make it shorter, and that's certainly not the intent. It's simply to shift when it happens on the calendar. The first year probably would cost us a week or two because we'd have to start earlier, but we'd make up for that when we rolled into the month of May. So we'll continue to have those conversations. I want to make sure that any messages that go out to the public are very clear and accurate in terms of what our intents are. In this case, it's simply to have the ability to start earlier to be able to finish around the time that we break for Christmas. So I just want to make sure we have that clarification.
Thank you, Dr. Phipps. At this time, the board's going to move down, and we're going to congratulate those that are receiving honors and various recognitions tonight. And we know that's why a lot of you are here. So we're going to move down here, and I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Libby Brown, Director of Community Relations.
Good evening, Chairman Pennell, Vice Chairman Branch, board members, and Dr. Phipps. It is always a pleasure to recognize students who are excelling in the arts. And it's a special pleasure for us here at the Education Center because we can enjoy their artwork during the month of February. So parents, thank you for being here this evening and supporting your children. We are going to recognize the children from Baton Elementary first. And Jason Tiefteller is the principal, and he is here this evening. And Jennifer Green is the art teacher. So, Jason, if you'd like to come up and greet your students as they get recognized by the board. We're going to start with Abby Guthrie, and Abby is a 5th grader at Baton Elementary School. Is Abby here? Okay. Matilda Jacob, 1st grade. Let's see if our 1st grader is here. Yes, she is. Okay. 2nd grader Jael Pardo Feliciano is with us this evening. Yardley Pritchard, a kindergarten student at Baton Elementary School. Not sure if our kindergarten made it. Yeah, we want. We're going to keep you up front for just a little while so parents can get pictures. And Mary Smith, 4th grader at Baton Elementary School. We'll do our 2nd elementary school, that's Gamel Elementary, and Miss Adrienne Dula is here. And Doug Davis, the art teacher. So if one of you would like to come up and help with your students, Mr. Davis. Gage Christopher. Gage is a third grader at Gamewell Elementary School. Is Gage here? And you can see their artwork, so that's pretty magnificent for a third grader. Julius Dula. Julius is a fifth grader at Gamewell Elementary School. Okay, here's his little voicemail. Andy Galindo. Andy Galindo is a fifth grader. Yes. Raven Minish. Raven is also a fifth grader, and I think she's here this morning. And the final student from Gamewell Elementary School is Indy Shores. Indy is a second grader at Gamewell Elementary. So I think it's picture time. So parents, please take pictures if you'd like with the board members. If we can squish in here somehow. Will you? I'm going to move you. It's okay. You can get in the aisle. Get a good view. Let's give them all a big round of applause. And these will be up the entire month of May, so please come back and bring other family members. We also have Gamewell Middle School. Anna Crook is principal, and Janet Roman is the art teacher, and I think they're both with us this evening. If you'd like to come up. Pacey Abel. Pacey is a sixth grader at Gamewell Middle School. Alexis Carroll. Alexis is a seventh grader at Gamewell Middle School. Alexis Carroll. Okay. Daniela Uceda. Daniela is a sixth grader. Janessa Moore. Janessa is an eighth grader at Gamewell Middle School. Yes. And Ashley Urbina. Ashley is also here with us. She is a sixth grader. So these students are representing the middle school level at Gamewell Middle in our Education Center Art Gallery. So you guys want to get in there and get a photo? Congratulations. After 12 rounds and 136 words, Madison Hollinsworth, eighth grader at William Lenore Middle School, won the champion trophy at the annual Caldwell County School Spelling Bee. Madison and runner-up Cadence Hughes, a seventh grader at Gamewell Middle, bounced back and forth during 2 rounds until Madison correctly spelled 2 words consecutively, winning with the word wiki wiki. Ironically, though, it was not a very fast-paced or quick win. It was very enjoyable. The Education Foundation, Inc. of Caldwell County, the sponsor of the event, provided $100 and a trophy to winner Madison Hollingsworth. Madison's journey isn't over. Madison will be competing at the 79th Annual Winston-Salem Journal Regional Spelling Bee on March 24th, and we're all pulling for you, Madison. So let's give Madison a big round. And Lisa Vaughn, her principal, is here. Lisa, would you like to come up and join her? We won't ask you how to spell Vaughn, okay? We'll keep you. Congratulations. An important milestone in wrestling history was reached on February 2nd in Winston-Salem as the NCHSAA and the NCUSA partnered to offer the first ever Women's Invitational Championships for North Carolina female high school wrestlers. 85 girls from across the state traveled to Winston-Salem, and these young women were able to realize a dream that many thought they may never see. The Invitational was an important step in the continued growth of women's wrestling in North Carolina. We are very proud to present to you and to congratulate South Caldwell's Jade Hutto, 10th grader. She did not only just compete well in this first women's invitational, she came home the women's champion in the 126-pound weight class. Of course, her coach, Dusty Smith, is here. You want to join her, Dusty? And assistant coach, Dusty's brother, is Dana Smith. I don't think Dana is here this evening. And the principal is Chad Smith. So I couldn't wait to say Smith and Smith and Smith would be here this evening. But this is a very unique situation for North Carolina. We're very proud of you and the work that's being done from the coaches and the commitment that we're seeing in the wrestling program. So, Mr. Smith, after you take your picture, would you like to join them too? Yes. So let's give our women's champion a big round of applause. See, now I can say Smith and Smith and Smith are here. So yes. Been waiting to do that all day. So, Mr. Smith, Dusty Smith, the coach, he also was a wrestling champion at West Caldwell High School. So he is a graduate of the Caldwell County Schools, and Dana as well. So we're very proud to have them back here on our home turf. Dusty, would you like to say anything about the women's opportunities now and the females?
I just think it's a great thing. We've got some states that are leading the way, but maybe we're 14th or 15th behind. And maybe before long we'll have all 50 states to offer women's wrestling. And just another opportunity for women. So I'm very, very glad that our state did this.
Right. Thank you. Very proud of our students and our coaching staff at South Caldwell High School. So this time we're going to turn our attention to a teacher. And unfortunately, Joy Filial, an outstanding math teacher. So no surprise to us that she was given this award. But she is the math teacher at West Caldwell High School. However, her family is sick tonight. So I think we can all understand that. So Craig Styron, as the principal of West Caldwell, is going to accept her award. And this is an outstanding secondary mathematics teacher for Caldwell County Schools. So she does an excellent job. I think you were in her classroom when you did the board walkthrough, the activity going on in math, the learning, you could just feel it. So she is very deserving. Please tell Joy we are thinking about her and her family. But let's congratulate Joy Filial, the outstanding secondary mathematics teacher in Caldwell County Schools.
Okay, that finishes our honors and recognition. You're welcome to stay for our business meeting. I don't think it'll take very long, but this would be an appropriate time if you want to slip out and go get dinner or do some homework or whatever.
Can I share one thing before folks leave? One of the things that Dr. Phipps has been talking about is character education, the importance of character education. On the news, on Charlotte News this weekend, he was recognized for an act of kindness through another school district. Tell him about it. We need to promote the good things that we're doing.
Jeff can tell him.
Jeff can tell.
We volunteered to, Ashe County school system has been out of school for a while because of the flu. They had to take a day off. And we took some cleaning, some sanitizing material up there and helped them sanitize their schools. That's no cost to them.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
They're so cute.
That first thing they came.
Okay, we're going to continue on with the agenda, and the next item is public comment, and as of this afternoon, we had not received any public comment. Continuing on, I'd like to recognize Dr. Bill Griffin, the Assistant Superintendent for Human Relations, Human Resource Services.
Thank you, Chairman Pennell, Vice Chairman Branch, members of the board, Dr. Phipps. I have before me Category 6A, Human Resources Services, usual and customary informational items. These items do not need action at this time, but again, are for your information. 6B, Human Resource Services, usual and customary action items. I respectfully request approval of these usual and customary action items this evening.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the Human Resource Services usual and customary action items as presented by Dr. Griffin?
I move that we approve the human resources usual and customary action items as have been presented to us here.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes.
Also, and 6C, usual customary action items is the substitute list. I respectfully request those to be approved this evening as well.
Okay, do I hear a motion that we approve the Human Resource Services usual and customary action items as presented by Dr. Griffin?
I move that we approve the substitute list as presented.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes.
And finally, this evening, Category 7A is a list of our student transfers for 2018-19. I respectfully request a motion to approve the February board transfers 2018. And those total transfer requests are 6. Transfers being recommended for board approval is 5. Transfers not being recommended for approval are 1, bringing us to 681 total transfers for 18-19.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the February board transfers for 2018-2019?
Chair, I make a motion that we approve the February board transfers for 2018-19.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Griffin. Next, Chief Finance Officer, Mr. David Johnson.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, and Dr. Phipps. I have 3 amendments tonight for your approval. First one is Budget Amendment Number 7. It is for the State Public School Fund. It is in the amount of $411,538. It is for state testing bonuses, Hurricane Relief Fund for child nutrition, twice retained students, summer reading camps, and reimbursement for beginning teacher orientation. In January, we paid a little over $306,000 in bonuses for 3rd grade reading bonuses, 4th through 8th grade reading and math, CTE credentials, and advanced placement exams to teachers. Budget Amendment Number 8 is for the Federal Grants Program. It is for improving teacher quality, language acquisition, and CTE programs. The final one is Budget Amendment Number 9. It is for Special Grants Fund. It's for changes in allocations to the pre-K program. If approved, that'll bring our total budget for Caldwell County Schools to $121,685,271.76. I would like to request approval of these tonight as submitted.
Do I hear a motion that we approve the 3 amendments, the State Public School Fund, the federal grants, as well as the Special Grants Fund amendments as presented by Mr. Johnson?
I'll make the motion we approve amendments 7, 8, and 9 as presented.
Second the motion.
Any questions? Comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes.
Great.
May I ask
Thank you.
just one quick question? David, Dr. Johnson, excuse me, you said that there were how many bonuses for AP? I tried to catch that for the AP.
I didn't give a total for the amount, but we
I don't-
paid out, including benefits, about $306,000.
Okay, but there were 2 AP bonuses, is that what I heard you say?
Advanced placement.
Advanced, just 2?
No, there were more than 2. I don't know the number, but we paid out for 3rd grade reading bonuses, 4th through 8th grade reading and math, CTE credentials that were earned, and advanced placement. I can be glad to get you that number if you want to know.
I
but
just
don't
thought I
remember
heard you
off the
say something that was interesting to me. Thank you.
top. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Next item, I'll turn it over to our superintendent, Dr. Don Phipps.
We have 2 policies that are up on second reading, and I'd like to request your approval for these at the same time, if we could. They're policy 2230, which is board committees, and policy 3621, student athletic eligibility, and we're seeking your approval for these policies at this time. I would like to note that we have pulled policy 4150, which is school assignment, as we continue to work on that and solicit feedback from the community. So these are the 2 that we have that have been out for first reading. This is now second reading, and we're seeking approval.
Do I hear a motion that we approve policies 3621 and 2230.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve policy 3621 and policy 2230 as presented.
Is there a second?
I second the motion.
Any comments or questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes. All right.
The next item on the agenda deals with our school calendar for the 2019-2020 school year, and we have the traditional calendar first. This again is up for first reading. There are a few pieces of information that we've received or feedback that we've had to make the calendar easier to read and simpler to follow, and we'll be incorporating those before final approval. But we'd like to have this just to give you an idea of our starting and ending dates and where we're recommending annual leave days and where the holidays fall and that type thing. So that not asking any approval, just asking, just sharing this for first reading.
We need to vote.
Okay.
Could it be changed
Yes, yes.
if the state?
Oh, you mean the
allows?
actual calendar?
Right.
We'd have to come back with that information. I don't anticipate that happening before the next meeting at all.
Is this still set up, this year we tried to get the exams in before Christmas. Is it still set up to try to do that? It's not, is it?
For the high schools?
Dr. Burns, do we break before the semester break here with the exams?
Yes.
So, just to clarify, if we get the extension that we have asked for, it will not apply to this calendar. It would be the ensuing year.
Unless we came back and made that decision. But right now, we're working on the premise that we are still following the law, which doesn't allow us to start earlier than what the state law says right now. Yes.
Just wanted to clarify that. Thank you.
Any change would probably come maybe a little too late to do
Yeah,
anything.
I think so.
No. Okay, do I hear a motion to place the 2019-2020 traditional school calendar out for a one-month public comment period?
I'll make the motion to put the traditional calendar out for a 30-day comment period.
Second. Any additional comments or questions? Are we going to be about the same number of days as we did this past year?
Yes.
Okay, very good.
And we have to target 1,025 hours is what we're required to hit in terms of instruction. And we're well beyond that.
How about the days before Christmas
Yeah, that's what I
for
was
the high schools?
wondering. Are we going to be, 2 semesters going to be about what they were
Well, the
this year?
2 semesters won't be balanced in terms of
Well,
numbers. I don't have the
right.
number in front of me, what they are.
But it'll probably be similar, though.
It's very similar to this year's calendar, and we've gotten positive feedback from this year about testing and the time.
So we are setting this calendar up similar to this
Yes.
current year.
Yes.
The semester will end before Christmas break.
Yes.
For high schools.
That's what I meant for the
Not
high
for
school.
elementary.
Well, that's what I meant for the high school. So their exams will be taken and all that. Okay.
Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
And we do still have the additional time built in the calendar as well, the additional 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
With the additional 5 days.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
Chairman Pennell, this list at the end of the second grading period is December 20th, is what I'm reading. So that would keep it-
Okay. Thank you. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And motion passes. Dr. Phipps?
We have the calendar for the early college. You'll notice the difference there is the earlier start date that they're allowed to have with the special setup the early college and the middle college have. But we'd like to request approval to have these up for first reading.
Do I hear a motion that we place the 2019-2020 Caldwell Early College as well as the Career Center Middle College calendar for a one-month comment period?
Chairman Pennell, I move that we put it for a one-month comment period, the 2019-20 early college and career center middle college up for comment for 1 month.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any comments or questions about that? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that motion passes. Do you want to address the next thing? You want me to do it?
If you're,
Okay, the next item on the agenda is the, if you look on your computer there, the change in regards to dates where we are meeting. You see it's gone back to July the 9th, and the meetings that we've had from July 9th, 2018, up to the current meeting on February 11th. That being the case, the rest of the calendar for the year is going to involve a week before our regular scheduled board meeting from 8 to 10 on the Monday before. We're going to have a work session here at the Education Center. So you can see those work sessions as being March the 4th. Then we have our board meeting on the 11th. We have our board walkthrough on the 25th. We have another work session on April the 4th, regular meeting on the 8th. I think there was a conflict. There's a reason why that's not a week differential there.
Right.
And then a work session on May the 6th. So basically, the difference there is the work sessions that have been added in. That is for information and not, we don't need a motion on that. Anybody got any comments? I think we all realize the value of the work sessions and what we've been able to pick up from each of those to this point, and look forward to those ahead. So this is the schedule that we will use for the remainder of the fiscal year, I guess you might call it. Any other comments or any items at all? That being the case, do I hear a motion we adjourn?
I second it.
Tim. Is there a second?
I second
Second.
the motion.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And we are adjourned. Everybody have a great evening.
Very, very.
Happy Valentine's, by the way. Got to say that.
we're good.